Hello, sample loving friends. I had a sampling frenzy this last week. So, with my day job, I got to go to a couple of factories last week in Barcelona, and I I was able to take my trusty my Tascam little audio recorder with me, and because they're plants that are part of my company, I was able to kind of walk around and record. Nobody looked at me sideways. So I went through a plastic injection molding plant, which isn't anything too exciting because I do that all the time. But I also got to go through a metal stamping plant where they stamp some metal fasteners. And I don't know if you've been in a plant like that, but I mean, you got these presses constantly, and there's dozens of them, all if not hundreds of them, all stamping at the same time. You get some really cool random rhythms coming out of it, and so I came back on the flight, and I cleaned up all the samples, and I just wanted to kind of show you guys what I was able to make coming out of that trip. So to give you an idea here, I'll just I'm just going to solo this track right now. This is kind of some of the sounds after I cleaned up. So these all here, these are all right. I gotta stop playing that. That was loud. That's the unclean stuff. But those are some of the samples I used to create the kicks. You can see up here at the top, I just got a kind of a 4 on the floor with a little bonus. Actually, it's not even 4 on the floor. It's the 1 and the 3 with a little bonus here on the 4. I was able to kind of clean those up. If I zoom in on one of these, all I'm really doing is taming the transients a little bit. Right, you could see here, balancing the volume, and then tapering it off, giving it the attack and release, a little bit more like a kick. And if we kind of add these up, helps. Hold, please. Helps if I got to zoom out. Let me zoom in. Sorry, guys. Helps if I'm looping the right sections. And then I can zoom back in here. Let's check it out. All right, so you can get that. Got a little bit of a boom kick, and then I got a second one here. Right, kind of fills out the back end, gives it a little more meat. And another one, this gives it a lot of character. Like I'm already marching down Main Street here. Boom, 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 boom. I'm coming. Terminator. It's industrial, as it's supposed to be. It's literally industry, and I just love the sound of it. So I did the same kind of thing. Let me stop that for a second. I did the same kind of thing with some snares. There's quite a few more snares, but you can see here, I'm just kind of doing it on the 2 and the 4. A little bit of alternate rhythms going on down here, but the same kind of idea. Just taming the transients, volume matching, and getting the tail to tell a story. Because there's a lot of like little nuance going on in the back of these samples that just adds so much character to it that I'd never be able to create otherwise. Wouldn't even think of it. And the other thing I guess I should say that I did, I kind of EQ'd each one of these to give it the right if I've got a snare, I'm kind of going 100 hertz and up, looking for some fun in the upper sides, or the upper frequencies, just to give it some life. But here, actually, I'm going to go one at a time through these snares, and just layer them on, so you can hear this. It's almost like a clap. See how those two working together, especially here on that second, third beat, it really does start to sound like a snare. Same thing here. So this is taking advantage of some of the noise in the background. A little bit more life as you put them together. And then finally this last one. And, you know, this last one on its own doesn't do a whole lot. It doesn't. And out. I like life. Life is good. Kind of boring, but if you put it with the others, now I really like life. It's kind of fun. I like my life. I get it, dog. Don't know what that's about, but that is the snares. Another thing that I created, I grabbed a bunch of things that sounded like cymbals. I've got metal fasteners falling into a big bucket, essentially. The sound it makes when it falls. There's a lot of robotics in these plants, and they go really fast, and especially in the plastics plant, get some really good sounds from that. So here's what that sounds like. And each sample, like I'd record the same machine for, 30 seconds or so. And this, but each one's just a little bit different, right? Which gives it a realistic feel. As does the background noises that are always changing. Boom. And so this sound that I just added in that's what I was talking about, where the metal stampings are falling into the box with all the other ones. It's almost like if I could play drums, I would want to play like that. And just a little bit more filling it out. So all these individual samples, I'm not doing anything super crazy on the rhythm side of things, right? It's pretty straight. But because there's so much movement in these samples, it gives the whole thing some life as it goes through. And then a couple of other percussion pieces that I added in. Get rid of those, add that, little play. So this guy right here, that is plastic getting injected into a giant mold. If you don't know what that sounds like. And the hydraulics locking in to drive it home. Probably should have put this one in with the snares or a clap. But that's exactly what it's doing. Acting like a clap. And then this is automation. A bunch of little tiny suckers that are picking up parts all at the same time, but they're just a touch at a time. Because that's the way the automation is set up. And it gives that beat. I did go in and kind of stretch this one just a touch to get it to hit right where I wanted. So those three together. And I'm going to go in and clean up all this timing a little bit more as I keep going. I got some ear candy here that honestly I haven't done a whole lot with. Just random noises I heard through the plant that I thought might be fun. And then I guess that's it. I've got a bunch of risers in here as well. I have not done anything with these yet. But these are sounds that I thought, with a little shaping, would make some really cool risers. So you can kind of see where I'm going with that. So when I get later on in the production and I actually know what the heck I'm making here, if I'm making anything, we will start to put those in. Because, kind of the beautiful part of this as well is all of the background sounds are relatively consistent, right? The background noise. And while I'm going to take as much of that noise out as I can, it helps everything blend together. It's all from the same plant. Well, I guess two plants, but they're coming from the same environment. So you're getting a consistent feel with all of the sounds. So For what it's worth, I am going to play this. It's just 2 bars, but I'm really liking how this turned out. I should mention down here at the bottom, impact. That's in Studio One. That's the sampler. I do have a couple of samples that I've baked in here, just to really more for the kick than anything else. A little bit with the snare. That's just kind of balancing out the low end, right? Because the samples are not necessarily made to be a bass drum. I'm shaping them to be a bass drum, and so I'm kind of adding a little bit of samples to taste, just to balance that sound and try to make it as balanced. I'm going to use the same word. I'm going to balance them and make it balanced. So yeah, that's what I did, and I'm thinking this will be my next song, but maybe not. We'll find out. I'm just going to add these things in one at a time. You can hear the whole thing come to life. So starting with the kicks, then I'm actually going to add in the impact here. A little bit of snare action. And give me a little cymbal. This thing really makes a jump. My whole body's dancing. You can't see it. You're just looking at my head. But all of this down here is doing stuff. Other percussion. And ear candy. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it or not yet, but it's there. I know, I feel like that's just, maybe at some point in the song I'll add that in once or something, but it feels like too much at this point. Because next, what I'm going to be doing is just let this play on loop and start, I'll take out the cello, take out the piano, take out this, vocal thing in here and see if I can figure out what feels good on top of this and just start riffing, having fun, doing some loops and piecing a song together. But this one was a lot of, they're all fun. This one, I was excited. I mean, for the couple of weeks leading up to this trip, like, I'm going to get the best sounds. And I got some pretty good ones. I'm happy with it. So I hope you like it. And I'm just going to let it loop for a little bit on my way out. A little slow fade. Stay awesome, my friends. See you next time.